Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we'll work on Packet Tracer, configure basic router settings. We have three objectives. The first one, we will build and set up the topology. And second part, we'll configure devices and verify connectivity. And the last part, we will display the router information. The resources here, the required resources, one router, one switch, two PCs, one console cable, and Ethernet cables. The router here, it says Cisco 4221. In our packet tracer, we don't have that model. We will use 4321 instead of 4221. The switch will use the same as specified and PCs as well. Let's start. Let's build the topology. We have PC. The first PC, we'll change the name to PCA. PCA. And second PC is PCB, and the router is R1, and the switch will change the name to S1. Okay, now we'll do the connections from PC to switch 1. We'll use the copper straight through cable, this one, fast Ethernet, and as in the topology, it says here, as you can see, F0/6. So we will select F Ethernet F0/6. And from switch to router, we'll use the copper straight through cable and the F05. And the interface here is G0/0/1. And from the router to PC, we will use a crossover cable, and this is the interface, and here's the interface. We have done the connections. We'll move forward. Part 2, configure device and verify connectivity. Configure PC interface. So we'll go to the interfaces here, IP configuration for PCA, and we will use the information. Here we have it in the addressing table. The IPv, this part is for the IPv4, and this part is for IPv6. So for the PCA, the IPv4 is, as we can see here, is 192.168.1.10, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, which is /24. And the default gateway, this one is the default gateway, is 192.168.1.1, and we'll do the IPv6, copy, paste, and the prefix length is 64, and the default gateway for the IPv6 is this one, FE80:1. Is done for PCA, and for PCB we'll do the same. IP configuration, we'll configure the IPv4 192.168.10.0.10, and the subnet mask, and the default gateway is 192.168.0.1. the IPv6 is this one, copy, paste, and the prefix length is 64, and the default gateway is FE80:1. We have done this. We'll move on. We configure both, and now we will configure the router. A is console into the router and enable privilege XEC mode. To do so, we need to use the console cable. Here we'll select the console interface, and in the PC we'll select this interface. And now we can console, we'll go from here and we'll click on terminal and then OK. And now we are at the router. We'll hit no and hit enter. Now we can work on the router. So, and it says here enter configuration privilege mode. To do so, we'll type enable, and then to enter the configuration, global configuration mode, we will use this command, configure terminal, hit enter, and we are at the global configuration mode. C, assign a device name to router as specified here. The router name is R1, so we will need to change the host name. The command is host name R1, hit enter, and we can see the router name changed to R1. And D, set router domain name as ccnalab.com. To do so, we need to use this command, IP domain /name ccnalab.com. And E, disable DNS lookup to prevent the router from attempting to translate incorrectly into a command. To do so, we need to use this command, IP no IP domain lookup, and F, encrypt the plain text password. To do so, we use the service password encryption command. This will encrypt all password, all text plain password. G, configure the system to require a minimum 12 character password. To do so, we will use the command is security password minimum length, and we'll type 12 characters. And H, configure the username, this one with the encrypted password, this one. So the username is SSH admin, and the password secret 55 H capital admin 2020, enter. And I, generate a set of crypto keys with a 1024-bit modules. This we will use the command crypto key generate RSA, hit enter, and by default is 512, but here it requires 1024 bits, so we'll write 1024 and then enter. Then assign the privileged exec password to this is the password. We will use the command enable password is $ Cisco PRIV and star. This is the password for the privilege mode. Assign this password as the console password. Configure sessions to disconnect after 4 minutes of inactivity and enable login. Okay, to do so, firstly we have to enter the console. So to do, we will use line console 0. We are at the console now, and from here we can assign the password. The command is password, and the password is $, Cisco, and CON, and login. And here it says sessions to disconnect after 4 minutes. To do so, we will exec timeout, and the time is 4. This we have done for the console. Exit. We'll check here. Assign this password as the VTY password. Configure the VTI lines to accept SSH connections only. Configure sessions to disconnect after 4 minutes of inactivity, and enable local using the local database. Okay, firstly we need to enter the VTY interface. So the command is line VTY04. We have the VTY interface, and now we'll use the password is the same, Cisco star login. And what else is asked? Okay, to enable the SSH connections only, we'll use the command transport input SSH. This is the command will enable the SSH connections only. And again, we want to exec timeout for 4 minutes. Yes, and that's it. Have done here. Exit. And now create a banner that warns anyone access that device that unauthorized access is prohibited. The command is banner mtod. We're going to put the warning sentence between two special symbols. So I will use this one, and unauthorized access is prohibited. And enable IPv6 routing. The command for that is IPv6 unicast routing. This command will enable the router forward IPv6 packets. By default, router does not forward the IPv6 packets, so we need to enable that. Now configure the all three interfaces on the router with IPv4 and IPv6 addressing information from the addressing table above. Configure all three interfaces with descriptions. Active all three interfaces. Okay, so as we can see here, the router has three interfaces: G0/0/0, G0/0/1, and the loopback 0. This for the management. We will work on this one. Start with G0/0/0 interface G0/0/0. Hit enter. As you can see, we are at the interface. Now the IP address, we will configure firstly the IPv4 IP address, IP add 192.168.0.1, and we need to add the subnet mask, which is a /24. Here is 255.255.255.0. Hit enter, and Now the IPv6 address, I will copy it, copy, paste. I just need to, there is no space, 64, and hit enter. And now we need to configure the link local address for the IPv6 add FE80:1 link local, this one. Okay, and now we need to add description, and the G0/0/0 is linked to PC1, so the description PCB, so the description will be description link to PCB. It's a good practice to add the description, and finally we'll bring it up. So we're going to use the no shutdown command, and that's it. We have done for the first interface, exit, and now we'll go to the second interface, G0/0/1, hit enter. We'll configure the IPv4 IP address 192.168.1.1, and the subnet mask for the /24 is 255.255.255.0. Hit enter, and now IPv6 address, this one, copy, paste, no space, enter, and the link local address IPv6 address FE80:1 link local. Description is link to S1. Enter and bring it up. No shutdown command. Have done. Exit. Now the last one, the loopback interface, loopback 0, and IPv4 address is 10.0.0.1, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. IPv6 address is this one, copy, copy, paste, no space, and the IPv6 link local address is FE80:1 link local. Bring it up, no shutdown, and description is loopback 0. Now we have done. Exit. We have configured the 3 interfaces. We'll move on, and here P, the router should not allow VTY logins for 2 minutes if 3 failed login attempts occur within 6 seconds. So the command for that, login block for how long? For 2 minutes. So here we need to put seconds. So 2 minutes is 120 seconds. Attempts, 3 attempts, number 3, within 60 seconds. Okay, Q set the clock on the router. This command, to set the clock, we need to be at the privilege mode. So we need to exit from here, and we'll use the clock set, and the clock set is the time now 11:20:00, and today is 26 December 2020. And the R, we need to save the running configuration to the startup configuration file. The command is copy running config startup config. Hit enter. It will here ask for the destination file name. If we wanted to keep the same startup config, so yes, I want to keep the same, just hit enter. And that's it. We have done. We'll move to the step 3, verify network connectivity. Now we will use using the command line at PCA. We'll go to PCA. We'll go to command prompt, and we'll ping the IPv4 and IPv6 for PC4 for PCB to check the connectivity. So the IP address of PCB is this one. So we'll ping it, ping 192.168.0.10. Yes, it's connected, and as we can see, it's 100% at zero loss and 100% connected. And let's try to ping the PC using IPv6, copy, ping, so it's connected in both IPv4 and IPv6. Let's move on to check the other connectivity. Here it says the question, were the pings successful? The answer is yes. Here, remotely access R1 from PCA using the term SSH session. We'll close this one. Okay, from PCA, we'll go to telnet SSH session. We'll make sure that the SSH selected. We have two connections type. We'll make sure that it's SSH selected, and we'll put the IP address for the loopback IP address, which is 10.0.0.1, and the username here is this one, SSH admin, and hit connect. Here we'll put this password. It's 55H2020. And as we can see here, unauthorized access is prohibited. This is the warning message that we were entered. Were remote access successful? Yes. Using this one, open an SSH session, loopback interface address. Ensure that, okay, we'll do the same with the IPv6 address. We use the IPv4. Let's close this one. Yes. And open again. And instead of IPv4, we'll keep the IPv6 of the loopback. This one. Copy. And the username is same, SSH admin. Yes, now is the unauthorized access is prohibited, and we are at the, we can manage the router and work on it. So let's move on. Here the question is, was remote access successful? Yes. The question here, why is the telnet protocol considered to be a security risk? Because the telnet use the plain text password and don't encrypt the packets. The SSH will encrypt the password, the plain text password, and even the data. Everything will encrypt everything. The SSH. We'll move on. The last part here is part 3: display router information. Enable SSH session. Okay, we are at the session now, and login. So to retrieve important information here, enable. The password is for the what was the password here? This the password is $, Cisco. Now we are at the privilege mode, so we can do the show command. Here we will use the show version command, and from this command we can answer all these questions: how much the memory, what's the name of ISO image file, and etc. B, show command often provide multiple screen output, so we can use the filter to if we want to get the specific, or we want to display the specific section. So to do so, we can use the show command with the pipe character and put either an include keyword or other keywords that we can it can do the filtration, like include or section, etc. And 3, you can display the startup configuration. So we can, from here, we can type show startup config. This will show everything how have been saved at the startup config file. So how our password presented in the output? The password should be encrypted because we use the encryption command. So as you can see here, the password is encrypted because we used the command that encrypted the password. The command was the here. It was here, F encrypted the plain text password. We use the command that service password encryption command. And yes, now where we are. Okay, step 3, okay, show startup config pipe section VTY command. Okay, we'll use that one, and we will filter it. Show startup config pi section VTY. This will show okay, I don't know, it's invalid command here, maybe because of the pack tracer. Okay, we'll move on. Display the router table on the router. The command is show IP route. This is the command. What code is used in the router table to indicate directly connected network? The code for directly connected is C. This one. This is the code for the directly connected network. And how many C's? You can see here 1, 2, 3. It's one for the loopback and one for the G0/0/0 interface, and the third one is for the G/0/0/1 interface. This is very important command. And B is show IPv6. Sorry, here. Yeah, we have done this one. Step 5, display a summary list of the interfaces on router. So the command for that one, show IP interface brief. This will show you the interface and the status of the interface plus the IP address if it's assigned for that particular interface. This for the IPv4, and we can use the same command for the IPv6. Just we will change here IPv6 and hit enter, and you can see here the three interfaces that we have configured. On PCB, change it configuration so that no longer has static router IPv6. You may have to reboot the machine, then use the ipconfig command on examine the IP configuration. Okay, on PCB, close this one, go to PCB. We'll go to IP configuration, and instead of the static, we will make it dynamic. So we'll hit this one. Now it's dynamically assigned, and then issue the ipconfig command on PC5. Okay, command prompt ipconfig. This command will display the IPv6 and IPv4 addresses. So this is the IP now, the IPv6 address, and the automatically assigned one. What's the IPv6 address? This one. And what's the default gateway assigned for PCB? This one. And I should ping from PCB to R1 default gateway. We'll do this one. Ping 192.168.0.1. The default gateway is this one, FE ping FE80:1. Yes, it's successfully ping PC1 unicast address, this one. Copy, paste. Yes, it's successful, and that's it. Now the reflection questions. The first question is in researching a network connectivity issue. A technician suspects that interface was not enabled. What show command could the technician use to troubleshoot this issue? Actually, as we have seen here, the command, the show IPv interface brief, has been clearly shows the all interfaces and the assigned IP address and the status of the interfaces. So if there is any problem in the interface, that command can show you clearly. And this number 2, in researching a network connectivity issue, a technician suspects that interface was assigned an incorrect subnet mask. What show command could the technician use troubleshoot? For that, as we can see, the interfaces, the subnet, you can issue the IP show IP interface, and you specified that interface, like show IP interface G/0/0/0, and hit enter, and it will give you all the information about that. That's all for this lab. We have learned many things, and good luck for everyone. Thank you for watching.